From giant deadly snakes to mysterious giant humanoids, here are 12 mythological monsters and cryptids from the Philippines. Welcome to Crypto Fun Fridays. So we've gotten a lot of requests from our subscribers for this type of episode, such as exemplified in this comment from Sakura-chan. And you're right, there are a lot of crazy creatures running around in the Philippines, so we really hope you enjoy this one. To Sakura and everyone else who wanted to see it, thanks again, or salamat. Was I at all close? Let us know. Cheers. Number 12, Duende. These are said to be small humanoid creatures that dwell underground, and there are two groups of them, each with their own distinct temperament, ranging from friendly to hostile. The benevolent ones can bring about good luck, but the mean ones are known to cause mischief to humans. Either kind will only interact with humans if the homes have been altered or disturbed. A nice duende might reward a farmer with an abundant harvest if he cares for his land. But if someone were to, say, destroy an anthill in the vicinity of a mean duende, the offender would be punished with a number of ailments, including inflammation of various organs. So it's best to mind your surroundings and keep alert for entering the space. Tikbalang. Now here's an odd-looking beast that is said to behave differently in different regions. It's usually described as having a human body along with the head and hooves of a horse. In the north, the creatures are considered to be bothersome mischief makers. They like to disorient travelers and essentially mess with their minds, making them see things that aren't really there. But in southern regions, the Tikbalang is described in much more sinister terms. It's a monster with the same human equine characteristics, but it has blazing red eyes and emits a foul stench of burning hair, and the beasts are extremely short-tempered, ready to trample you to death at the slightest annoyance. So to avoid this, one must pluck out one of the 3 long hairs that grows in its mane. That is said to soothe the savage beast enough to make it your slave. Siakoi. They might best be described as mermen by way of a horror movie. These creatures appear in the mythology of the Philippines and are described as humanoid with green skin covered with patchy scales, along with webbed hands and feet, and fins located on various parts of the bodies. Some accounts claim they have tentacles, but most descriptions concur that these creatures are male and are the most animal-like of all the merfolk. They're said to drown humans unlucky enough to encounter them, and it's said that intimidating marine life such as eels, rays, and squids will often swim alongside them. Sirena. So we just told you about the Siakoi, now here's the Sirena. Also found in Filipino mythology, these creatures are usually portrayed not unlike mermaids, with the head and body of a human female, along with a fishtail. While most accounts claim they have a beautiful appearance, they're said to have a vicious temperament. The Sirena is known to hypnotize men with a hypnotic voice, and they're especially known to enchant fishermen, distracting them long enough to cause shipwrecks. In particular, they seem to enjoy hypnotizing men into following them into the water, where they take great amusement in drowning the victims. Tiyanak. Now this monster sounds kind of like a siren, or at least employs its tactics of deception. A person walking through the deep woods hears a baby crying and goes to investigate. Following the sound to rescue the child, the traveler can wander about in circles, never locating the baby, and instead becomes lost forever in the woods. Other versions of the story say that the traveler actually does locate the baby in the middle of a forest and then wishes they hadn't. Upon picking up the child, it suddenly morphs into a monster with huge razor-sharp fangs. The creature devours its prey and then reassumes the form of a baby and awaits its next victim. Capre. This is a type of tree demon, and they're said to stand up to 14 feet tall and are extremely hairy and bearded humanoid creatures that reek of a goat smell. Capres are known to have a fondness for sitting in trees, especially mangoes and bamboo, among others. And while sitting there, they enjoy smoking a pipe. They're known to develop an attraction to certain humans and will even follow them around. Reports of experiencing their enchantment includes rustling tree branches, even when there is no wind, seeing red, fiery eyes near a tree at nighttime, lots of smoke emanating from treetops, and actually seeing a capre walking about in forested areas. While some of the creatures are considered to be more intelligent than others, all the capre tend to share one behavior in common. They do seem to enjoy watching over farm animals, even to the point of guarding and protecting them. Koopa. It's described as a huge venomous snake bearing a red crest atop its head, and it has a number of fearsome attributes, including a forked tail and some sharp tusks. It could live in treetops where it would lurk to grab unsuspecting victims from below. It's said that travelers who have taken refuge under such trees have died not only from the snake's toxic bite, but also from its venom that soaked the tree and the soil underneath it. Manang Gila. You have to cut me some slack on the pronunciation, because we really couldn't find one for this one. But these are huge, hairy humanoid giants said to live in caves and mountains. They're said to have vicious faces, big feet, and bodies that are matted with black hair. In contrast to their disturbing appearance, though, the creatures are said to be quite harmless and reasonably intelligent. Did you know that in the 1980s, two of these creatures, thought to be a mother and child, were spotted by army forces patrolling Mount Izaruk? They were said to have been chained to wagons where they were fed for over 2 weeks, but after that, there is no record of what happened with them. Mamalu. Now, of course, every country seems to have its own version of the Loch Ness Monster, so maybe this one could be a version found in the Philippines. Although in this case, it's a huge aquatic snake which would definitely dwarf Nessie. The Mamalu is said to be covered in thick scales and measures some 30 fathoms long, or about 180 feet. It has a head that resembles that of a water buffalo, along with white horns, fiery red eyes, and huge fangs that spit venom. While it will emerge long enough near the surface to hunt for marine life, it normally dwells in the darkest depths of the ocean. Aswang. This creature is well known throughout the Philippines as a shape-shifting monster that can possess the traits of a vampire, a witch, or different variations of a werebeast. In 2015, sightings of the Aswang were reported in central Mindanao in the Philippines, as were alleged attacks by the cryptids. Residents in various towns reported that they were assaulted by a creature that resembled a huge dog. One witness claims that the animal broke into the house of a married couple and attacked them. After the husband fought back, the creature mysteriously vanished, and the couple, along with many witnesses, believe the beast was an Aswang that had shapeshifted into a canine form. Did you know that Aswangs are known to dine on human hearts and livers? That's by using a long proboscis to suck the organs right out of the body. Manang Angle. This creature ranks as one of the scarier ones on the list. It's been described as having the characteristics of a vampire because it's said to drink blood, but it's also been compared to a witch or to some sort of man-eating monster. Most often, we found it was depicted as a horrendous female creature, and it has the horrifying ability to separate its upper torso. Then it grows huge bat-like wings, which allows it to fly into the night in search of victims. So this creature can essentially split itself into two whenever it pleases. But while the top half of the torso flies away, the bottom half is left to simply stand there, and that leaves it vulnerable to have substances like crushed garlic sprinkled into it, which is deadly to the Manang Angle because it makes it impossible for the monster's top half to reattach itself. And if it can't pull itself together again by sunrise, the abomination will die. So before getting to the number one spot, here are a few honorable mentions that we found really intriguing. Tiburon. In Spanish, that means shark, and this beast was described as a giant flying shark with armored skin. It was said to have saw-like teeth and was powerful enough to crush rocks. The Timu is described as an ogre that is ape-like and lives deep within the forest. They're said to have a mouth so wide it can swallow up a human. And the Alan, they're said to be a strange race of beings that are half human, half bird. They have winged arms and will hang upside down in trees waiting for prey to pass by, which usually turns out to be humans. Sigmund. Descriptions can vary, but overall the Sigmund will usually resemble a reptilian crow or a goat without horns, and it always keeps its head between its forelegs, which are much shorter than its hind legs. Thanks to that strange physiology, it can crab walk backwards. Various accounts also note some other unique characteristics, including that it has additional grasshopper-like legs on its neck that enable the beast to vault for great distances, and its long, whip-like tail is capable of emitting a foul stench. They prowl about at night, searching for human victims to devour, but they keep the hearts for use as amulets. Interesting to note now that a mysterious critter known as the cat fox has been reported in rainforests of Borneo, and it seems to match the description of the Sigmund. The cat fox is said to have hind legs that are longer than its forelegs, a long tail, and is known to be carnivorous. So you think there could be a connection? Let us know in the comments.